All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Sarabjit Kaur and with me is VC Pramod. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with India's Olympic-bound athletes, says better training camps, equipment, international exposure provided to the players. Prime Minister cautions against crowding at hill stations without observing COVID-appropriate behaviour. Uttarakhand government cancels Kanwar Yatra this year in view of COVID-19. Cumulative COVID vaccination coverage exceeds 38 crore 50 lakh in the country. NEET UG 2021 to be conducted in 13 languages for the first time with new addition of Punjabi and Malayalam. Ladakh signs MOU with Sikkim to turn the Union Territory into an organic entity. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to participate in meeting of SCO Contact Group on Afghanistan at Dushanbe today. Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba sworn in as Prime Minister of the Himalayan nation. And Swiss tennis maestro Roger Federer withdraws from Tokyo Olympics due to knee injury. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also to help others to get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with Indian athletes contingent bound for Tokyo Olympics through video conference last evening. Sports and Youth Affairs Minister Anurag Thakur and Law Minister Kiren Rijiju were also present on the occasion. Speaking on the occasion, the Prime Minister said 135 crore Indians are supporting the players participating in the Tokyo Olympics. He said people from across the nation are cheering their favourite players through the Namo app.
मुझे ये देखकर खुशी होती है कि देश आपको चीयर कर रहा है। 135 करोड़ भारतीयों की ये शुभकामनाएं खेल के मैदान में उतरने से पहले आप सभी के लिए देश का आशीर्वाद है। मैं भी अपनी ओर से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। ये बात जरूर याद रखना है कि जीतने का प्रेशर लेकर नहीं खेलना है। अपने दिल दिमाग को बस एक ही बात कहिए कि मुझे अपना बेस्ट परफॉर्म करना है। मैं देशवासियों से भी एक बार फिर कहूंगा, चीयर फॉर इंडिया। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है आप सब देश के लिए खेलते हुए देश का गौरव बढ़ाएंगे, नए मुकाम हासिल करेंगे।
Mr. Modi said, things that are common in all the athletes going to the mega sporting event are their boldness, confidence, positivity, discipline, dedication and competitiveness. He said this is also the reflection of New India. The Prime Minister said efforts were made to provide better training camps, good quality equipment and international exposure to the players. Mr. Modi said that so many changes have happened in such a short time since sports-related institutions have given priority to suggestions by the sportspersons. He also expressed happiness that for the first time such a large number of players have qualified for the Olympics. He said that campaigns like Fit India and Khelo India contributed to this. He said for the first time, players from India are participating in so many sports. Mr. Modi said a committee was formed for Olympics a few years back. In the informal and spontaneous interaction, the Prime Minister motivated the athletes and thanked their families for their sacrifice. Talking to archer Deepika Kumari, Mr. Modi termed her journey as special. He said the nation is talking about her after her feat in Paris and she is world number 1 now.
दीपिका जी, अभी पेरिस में गोल्ड जीतकर आपने जो करिश्मा किया, उसके बाद तो पूरे देश में आपकी चर्चा हो रही है। अब आप रैंकिंग में वर्ल्ड नंबर 1 हो गई हैं। आप बचपन में आम तोड़ने के लिए निशाना लगाती थी। आम से शुरू हुई आपकी यात्रा बहुत खास है। अपनी इस यात्रा के बारे में अगर आप कुछ बताएं तो अच्छा होगा।
तो आम मुझे बहुत पसंद था इसलिए स्टोरी पढ़ी, बट मैंने बैम्बू ब्रो से स्टार्ट किया था और फिर धीरे धीरे मैं मॉडर्न बुक पे आई थी सर। तो बहुत अच्छी रही। स्टार्टिंग में थोड़ा सा स्ट्रगल हुआ था, उसके बाद एक साथ आर्चरी करने के बाद काफी अच्छी फैसिलिटीज मिली सर और काफी अच्छे कोच भी मिले मुझे।
Sports Minister Anurag Thakur thanked the officials, including coaching staff and support staff, for their hard work with the athletes. With only few days to go for Tokyo Olympic Games, country's athletes are busy in the final stages of their preparation. Today, in the Olympic series of All India Radio, we take a look at Indian shooting's 50-meter men's rifle team, consisting of young 20-year-old Aishwarya Pratap Singh Tomar and veteran 40-year-old Sanjeev Rajput.
Born on February 3, 2001 at Ratanpur in Madhya Pradesh, the world number 2 ranked Aishwarya Pratap was the only Indian rifle shooter to qualify for the finals at the ISSF World Cup held in Osijek, Croatia recently. He won gold in his senior ISSF debut at Delhi this year. When most of India's new young shooters belong to airgun disciplines, Aishwarya Pratap chose to specialize in the more rigorous 50-meter rifle free position. He announced his arrival by winning gold in the ISSF Junior World Cup at Seoul, Germany in 2019 and later qualified for Tokyo 2020 after winning bronze at the 2019 Asian Championships. On the other hand, Sanjeev Rajput was born on January the 5th, 1981 in Yamunanagar district of Haryana. Sanjeev is currently ranked number 6 in the world in men's 50-meter rifle free positions. He'll be making his third Olympic appearance in Tokyo and first after London 2012. Sanjeev is the only current Indian shooter to have participated in Beijing 2008. He had qualified for Rio 2016. His collection of international medals ranges from team bronzes at the 2006 Asian and Commonwealth Games to a silver at the ISSF World Cup at Rio 2019 that secured his Tokyo 2020 qualification. In both Beijing and London, he had finished 26th in the qualifications. Sports Desk, AIR News.
Listeners from all across the country are participating in the Olympic quiz by AIR News. Many listeners have emailed us the replies. The correct answer to Monday's question has been sent by T.A. Ganesh from Bangalore in Karnataka. He is the winner of our quiz. Many congratulations to Mr. Ganesh from the entire team of AIR News. Mr. Ganesh expressed his happiness on winning the Olympic quiz and extended his best wishes to the athletes participating in the Olympics.
I was very happy to get the news about my winning this All India Radio sports quiz. I have been hearing All India Radio news as well as sports quiz regularly. The starting of this quiz has been a very good initiative and it has given a lot of interest and insight into the sports, especially these Olympics.
To participate in the Olympic quiz, tune into our program Sports Scan at 7:20 p.m. every day.
In the run-up to the Tokyo Olympics, the News Services Division of All India Radio in its Sports Scan program is broadcasting every day Olympics quiz with AIR News. Olympics quiz Akashvani Samachar ke saath in Hindi. Every day a question related to Olympics will be asked at the beginning and closing of the program. To participate in this program, listeners can send the replies by email on airsportscan@gmail.com. The first correct answer received through email will be adjudged the winner of the quiz. The name of the winner will be announced in Sports Scan program the next day. It will also be flashed on AIR Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts. The Sports Authority of India will provide India team jersey to the winner. So tune in to the Sports Scan program every day at 7:20 p.m. on FM Gold and on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official.
Swiss tennis maestro Roger Federer has withdrawn from the Tokyo Olympics because of knee injury during the grass court season. The 8-time Wimbledon champion had missed the 2016 Rio Olympics also due to knee injury. The 20-time Grand Slam champion was knocked out of Wimbledon in the quarterfinals by Hubert Hurkacz last week.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed concern over the huge crowds in hill stations and markets and urged people to strictly follow COVID-appropriate behavior. He stressed the need to strictly implement the COVID protocols to contain the spread of the coronavirus infection. The Prime Minister said this while interacting with Chief Ministers of northeastern states including Assam, Nagaland, Tripura, Sikkim, Manipur, Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh and Mizoram yesterday.
ये सही है, कोरोना की वजह से टूरिज्म, व्यापार, कारोबार ये बहुत प्रभावित हुआ है, लेकिन मैं बहुत जोर देकर कहूंगा कि हिल स्टेशन में, मार्केट्स में बिना मास्क पहने, प्रोटोकॉल का अमल किए बिना भारी भीड़ का उमड़ना मैं समझता हूं एक चिंता का विषय है, ठीक नहीं है.
Highlighting the importance of vaccination, the Prime Minister emphasized to accelerate the vaccination process to check the possible third wave of COVID-19. He also stressed on removing the vaccine hesitancy among people by taking several measures. Expressing concern over the rising infection rate in some of the districts of the northeastern states, Mr. Modi said, strict steps need to be taken at the micro level to contain the spread of the virus.
जितना जोर माइक्रो कंटेनमेंट जोन पर हम लगाएंगे, हम इस परिस्थिति से जल्दी बाहर आएंगे. और बीते 1.5 साल में जो अनुभव हमें मिले, जो बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस हमने देखी है, हमें उसका भी पूरा इस्तेमाल करना होगा. तो हमें कोरोना वायरस के हर वेरिएंट पर भी नजर रखनी होगी, क्योंकि ये बिल्कुल बहुरूपिया है, बार बार अपने रंग रूप बदल देता है, हमारे लिए भी चुनौतियां खड़ी करता है. हमें हर वेरिएंट पर बहुत बारीकी से नजर रखनी पड़ेगी.
Union government has said that there is mass reduction of COVID-19 cases in terms of number of districts which are reporting higher cases. Briefing media in New Delhi last evening, Joint Secretary of Health and Family Welfare Ministry, Love Agarwal said, the spread of infection concentrated in limited geographic territory and the infection is now spreading in a localized manner. On the recovery rate from the COVID infection, Mr. Agarwal said that the country is also witnessing a consistent increase in the recovery rate.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with India's Olympic-bound athletes, says better training camps, equipment, international exposure provided to the players. Prime Minister cautions against crowding at hill stations without observing COVID-appropriate behavior. Uttarakhand government cancels Kanwad Yatra this year in view of COVID-19. Cumulative COVID vaccination coverage exceeds 38 crore 50 lakh in the country. NEET UG 2021 to be conducted in 13 languages for the first time with new addition of Punjabi and Malayalam. Ladakh signs MOU with Sikkim to turn the Union Territory into an organic entity. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to participate in meeting of SCO contact group on Afghanistan at Dushanbe today. Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deoba sworn in as Prime Minister of the Himalayan nation. And Swiss tennis maestro Roger Federer withdraws from Tokyo Olympics due to knee injury. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
The centre is disseminating awareness of national helpline numbers for the benefit of citizens during the COVID-19 pandemic. The helpline number of the Health and Family Welfare Ministry is 1075. The child helpline number is 1098. For senior citizens of Delhi, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, the helpline number is 14567. The helpline number of National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, NIMHANS, for psychological support is 08046110007. Ayush COVID-19 counselling helpline number is 14443 and MyGov WhatsApp help desk number is 9013151515.
Welcome back to the morning news. Uttarakhand government has decided to cancel the Kanwar Yatra this year owing to the threat of COVID-19. The decision was taken after a high-level meeting between Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami and top officials of the state government. After the meeting, Mr. Dhami said they do not want to turn Haridwar into a corona hotspot and put at risk people's lives. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath's policy of trace, test and treat is fetching good results, and COVID infection is declining in the state day by day. Not a single new COVID case was registered in 43 districts of the state yesterday. More details from our Lucknow correspondent.
The state, with a population of around 24 crore people, registered only 59 new COVID cases in last 24 hours. In 32 districts, new cases appeared only in single digit. 3 districts of the state do not have any COVID case. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said that this is the time when we should remain more vigilant. The state government is conducting more than 2.5 lakh COVID tests every day. There are now only 300 active COVID patients who are hospitalized, while around 1189 patients are in home isolation. Vaccination drive is going on in full swing. The state has administered more than 3 crore 77 lakh doses of COVID vaccine to the beneficiaries. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Gujarat recorded 31 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday. 113 patients recovered during the past 24 hours and were discharged from the hospitals. More details from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Total 8,13,512 patients have been recovered from COVID-19 in Gujarat till now. The recovery rate further improved and reached up to 98.69%. Maximum 9 new cases reported from Ahmedabad. No death reported due to COVID-19 in the state during the last 24 hours. Gujarat has now 719 active cases at present, out of which 6 patients are on ventilators. Meanwhile, 2,53,308 persons have been vaccinated in the state yesterday. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
India's cumulative COVID vaccination coverage has exceeded 38 crore 50 lakh. Union Health Ministry said more than 34 lakh 10,000 vaccine doses were administered yesterday. The new phase of universalization of COVID-19 vaccination commenced from the 21st of last month. Odisha has vaccinated over 1.34 crore beneficiaries against corona till date. It includes over 62 lakh people who are 45 years of age and above. More than 74,000 people were inoculated yesterday. More from our correspondent.
Amid partial lockdown, Odisha continues to witness a substantial decline in the overall rate of COVID-19 infection that has gone far down below 5%. The day-wise case discovery too has slipped further down below 2,000 in the last couple of days, bringing the active case load of the state to less than 24,000. Meanwhile, the state government yesterday put a ban on Bol Bum Yatra across the state in the holy month of Shravana ahead, during which thousands of devotees called Kaudiyas populate the roads and religious places in hopes that might turn out to be potential flashpoint of viral comeback. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
Minister for Science and Technology Dr. Jitendra Singh yesterday discussed with scientific experts on the modalities of installing the latest UVC disinfection technology in the Parliament House on the eve of the upcoming session on the 19th of this month. The technology has been developed by the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR. The minister informed that to begin with, the technology meant for mitigation of airborne transmission of SARS-CoV-2 will be installed in the Central Hall, Lok Sabha Chamber and Committee Rooms 62 and 63. However, Dr. Singh cautioned that even after installation of this disinfection technology, everybody is advised to strictly adhere to COVID-appropriate behavior, including use of face mask, maintaining social distancing and avoiding crowds. CSIR-CSIO has developed a UVC air duct disinfection system.
Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has said that the National Eligibility cum Entrance Test Undergraduate NEET UG Examination 2021 for admission to medical courses will be conducted in 13 languages for the first time, with new addition of Punjabi and Malayalam. The languages now being offered are Hindi, Punjabi, Assamese, Bengali, Odia, Gujarati, Marathi, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada, Tamil, Urdu and English. In a tweet, Mr. Pradhan said, it is in line with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of promoting regional languages under the National Education Policy 2020. The minister said registrations for the NEET UG 2021 have started on ntaneet.nic.in from 5 p.m. yesterday. He said for the first time in the history of NEET UG exam and in order to facilitate the Indian student community in the Middle East, an examination center has been opened in Kuwait. The Finance Ministry has directed the Institute of Banking Personnel Selection IBPS to put on hold examination for the clerical cadre in public sector banks till a final view is taken on conducting tests in regional languages. In a statement, the ministry said, in order to look into the demand for holding examination for the clerical cadre in public sector banks in regional languages, a committee has been constituted to look into the matter in its entirety. He said the committee will give its recommendations within 15 days.
The Union Government has said that 433,32,000 tons of wheat has been procured so far in the current Rabi marketing season. Agriculture Ministry said 11.81% more wheat has been procured in comparison to last year's corresponding period. More than 49,16,000 farmers have already benefited from the ongoing procurement operations with MSP value of 85,581 crore rupees. Ladakh administration has signed an MOU with Sikkim State Organic Certification Agency SOCCA to turn the Union Territory into an organic entity. A tripartite MOU has been signed between Ladakh and SSOCA regarding the implementation of the Parampagagat Krishi Vikas Yojana and Mission Organic Development Initiative in the Ladakh region. The main objective of this MOU is to get the organic certification after a tie-up with the centre. Ladakh Agriculture Secretary Ravinder Kumar said that the aim is to make Ladakh a certified organic union territory by 2025, which will be completed in 3 phases. Sikkim is the first state that is 100% organic, with all of its farmland certified organic. The use and sale of chemical fertilizers and pesticides are banned in Sikkim.
In Bihar, rail and road traffic has been disrupted in different parts due to waterlogging on railway track and the national highways. 10 trains on Darbhanga-Samastipur section have been cancelled, while long route trains diverted after rail track near Muktapur rail station submerged underwater. National Highway has been submerged in low-lying areas of West Champaran, Sitamarhi and Shiohar. Several rivers, including Bagmati, Gandak and Kosi, are flowing above the danger mark. Water Resource Minister Sanjay Kumar Jha said construction of high dam in Nepal is necessary to stop floods in Bihar.
बहुत सारे रिवर में 3 से 4 गुना ज्यादा पानी आया। गंडक में जहां 15-16 जून को 50,000 से 1 लाख क्यूसेक पानी आता था, 16 जून को 4,12,000 क्यूसेक पानी गया। इससे आप अंदाजा लगा सकते हैं कि कितनी एक्सेस बारिश के वजह से पिछले 15 दिन 20 दिन में रहा है। मेन सीजन अभी शुरू ही हुआ है। पूरा जुलाई, पूरा अगस्त, पूरा सितंबर, अक्टूबर के शुरू तक संभावना रहती है, लेकिन इस बार थोड़ा चैलेंज ज्यादा हो गया है क्योंकि जून में ही इतनी बारिश हो गई।
Union Home Ministry has asked the Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI, to inquire into the death of Rosie Sangma and Samuel Sangma. The case relates to death of Rosie Sangma in a hospital in Gurgaon on 24th of June this year after she had complained of a medical condition. Later, Samuel Sangma, a relative of Rosie Sangma, suspecting medical negligence, had an altercation with doctors and staff of the hospital. On the next day, 25th of June, the Delhi police received information regarding the death of Samuel Sangma in New Delhi.
In Jammu and Kashmir, 3 terrorists were killed in an encounter with security forces in Pulwama town this morning. Police said the gun battle between a joint team of security forces and terrorists started during the wee hours today. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar will participate in a meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO contact group on Afghanistan at Dushanbe today. Dr. Jaishankar reached Dushanbe yesterday on a 2-day visit to Tajikistan. Ahead of the meeting, the External Affairs Minister met his Afghan counterpart Hanif Atmar yesterday and discussed the latest developments in Afghanistan against the backdrop of a violent campaign by the Taliban to take control of the territory. The talks were held on the margins of a meeting of foreign ministers of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deoba took oath as the Prime Minister of the Himalayan nation last evening. This comes a day after the country's Supreme Court reinstated the House of Representatives dissolved by his predecessor KP Sharma Oli and ordered the appointment of Deoba as the new Prime Minister. President Bidya Devi Bhandari administered the oath of office to Deoba at a ceremony held at her office last evening. The ceremony was delayed about 2 hours over the language and format of the appointment letter. President Bidya Devi had appointed the Nepali Congress President to position yesterday afternoon without mentioning clauses of the constitution on the basis of which Mr. Deoba has been assigned to the post. The letter issued by the office of the President had stated that Deoba has been appointed as next Prime Minister following the order of the Supreme Court. Newly sworn-in Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deoba has formed a 5-member cabinet.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi is expected to experience generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. It recorded 23 degrees Celsius as the minimum temperature, while the maximum will be around 31 degrees. Mumbai is likely to have generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. In Chennai, the temperatures may vary between 27 and 34 degrees Celsius. Kolkata recorded minimum temperature of 27 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 34 degrees. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature was 18 degrees, while the maximum will be around 26 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain. Leh is expected to have generally cloudy sky. It registered 11 degrees Celsius as the minimum, while the maximum will be around 25 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm. Muzaffarabad, the minimum temperature was 20 degrees while the maximum will be around 35 degrees. Guwahati, Imphal, Shillong and Aizawl will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. In Kohima, the temperature will rise from a minimum of 18 degrees Celsius to a maximum of 26 degrees. Itanagar will experience generally cloudy sky with few spells of rain. Gangtok will experience thunderstorm with rain. Agartala recorded minimum temperature of 26 degrees Celsius and this may move up to 32 degrees. In Port Blair, the temperatures will vary between 25 and 30 degrees Celsius. Vishakhapatnam, minimum temperature was 26 degrees while the maximum may be around 32 degrees. Raipur will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder lightning.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Almost all newspapers today lead with the statement of the Prime Minister striking a note of caution. Quoting the PM, the Asian Age headline reads, "Maskless crowds at hill stations, markets will trigger third wave." The Hindustan Times headline reads, "Uttarakhand heeds warning, says no to Kanwad Yatra." India's first COVID patient, a 21-year-old girl from Kerala, tested positive for corona again, reports the Indian Express. Serum Institute of India to start making Sputnik vaccine in September, reports the Financial Express. In the motivating farewell session for Tokyo-bound athletes, Indian Express states in PM, Tokyo pep talk, ice cream for Sindhu and biopic for Vinesh. With researchers seeking a ban on the use of Nimsulide for veterinary purposes as it threatens to wipe out the vultures, the pioneer writes, now Nimsulide a pain for white ruptured vultures. And finally, to the delight of archaeologists, Paleolithic cave paintings found in the corner of NCR could be amongst oldest in the country, states the Hindustan Times.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with India's Olympic-bound athletes, says better training camps, equipment, international exposure provided to the players. Prime Minister cautions against crowding at hill stations without observing COVID-appropriate behavior. Uttarakhand government cancels Kanwad Yatra this year in view of COVID-19. Cumulative COVID vaccination coverage exceeds 38 crore 50 lakh in the country. NEET UG 2021 to be conducted in 13 languages for the first time with new addition of Punjabi and Malayalam. Ladakh signs MOU with Sikkim to turn the Union Territory into an organic entity. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to participate in meeting of SCO Contact Group on Afghanistan at Dushanbe today. Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deoba sworn in as Prime Minister of the Himalayan nation. And Swiss tennis maestro Roger Federer withdraws from Tokyo Olympics due to knee injury. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.